Hey there everybody, welcome back. We are playing some more of Ambulance Life, a Paramedic Simulator, and today we're in a different island on the map than we were the last time. I know it's been a while since I played this game, but some of you were asking for me to play it again, and I'm excited to be back, so let's get into this. So already it looks like that we have...
Alarm usually means get moving.
A new call. Yeah, I'm well aware it means to get moving. Thank you. So, oops, what the hell is this thing? That's not it.
152 priority response need.
Where's this 911 call? I don't see it on the... Oh, okay, so it's all the way over in the downtown area. I didn't realize that, so we got a bit of a drive to go.
Over. We received a report of a severe accident in the vicinity. Some sort of blast.
Alright, so let's get on over there.
Construction site, reason unknown.
Okay, so some kind of...
Several workers were present. Prepare for multiple patients.
Some kind of an accident
Case, over.
at a construction site. So we're gonna head on over that way. Like I said, it's going to be a bit of a drive, so I'm going to cut us to when we get over there. Alright, so I think we're pulling up to the scene now. It sounds like it was a construction zone that had an accident, some kind of explosion. So we're kind of going into this expecting burns, possible glass injuries, I don't know, it just depends on what we've got. Here we go, we're pulling up. Like I said in the last video, normally we would turn off the sirens by now, because we're not moving traffic, there's no need for the sirens, but can't really do that in this game. Alright, so we got one person on the ground. Let's unload our stretcher, because we're probably going to need it. Bring it on over. Move, lady. Move. Okay. Leaf stretcher. Let's see. I gotta remember. Okay, so that's to focus. So, looks like maybe a burn on the right leg there. Some kind of injury up here on the left arm. There's also a lower injury leg. Or lower leg injury there on the right. Okay, so we've got some kind of major leg injury on the right, some kind of injury on the left. We're going to talk to her now that we've kind of seen what was going on. She's getting a headache. I don't really like that. I'm going to put a neck brace on her. I don't know if she took a major fall or anything, so it's just good thing to do there. We're also going to I don't think she needs a tourniquet. I don't see any major bleeding out of that. We are going to... I can't remember how to ask her questions. Oh, there we go.
I've hurt my neck.
Yep. So she hurt her neck. We're going to... We made a right call with the C-collar. That's just to keep the neck in line so that way we don't cause any more injury when we go to move her
We
later.
were working, then suddenly a blast.
Okay.
Flames everywhere.
Okay, so definitely a
I remember
burn.
being thrown back.
Definitely probably a head injury.
No. Nothing like this.
Back pain from work. Okay.
Just occasional back pain from work.
So this kind of stuff is, these questions are very good to ask. The chronic health issue type questions are also good to ask, even in this situation, so that way I know what's normal and what's not.
Painkillers a few days ago for a headache.
Okay.
Nothing else.
So she doesn't take any medications, normally that question
Please,
would also...
give me some space.
Oh, jeez. Normally that question would go hand in hand with, are you allergic to any medications? So that way I don't give her something that would cause her to go into anaphylactic shock, which is an allergic reaction to a medication. or allergic reaction in general. But we're going to get over to the ambulance, and we're going to start working inside. I want a full set of vitals. With her complaining of a headache, I need a blood pressure, especially with the injury that she's reporting to have had. I'm also going to address that burn eventually. But right now, this is a distracting injury. I've got to figure out if there's anything major going on before I start treating those smaller, or not smaller, but those less life-threatening injuries. So let's get a set of vitals here. Normally your partner can be doing some of this as well. 106/71, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. We're also going to get a oxygen saturation, which is 100% on room air, meaning that she's not breathing on any oxygen. She's breathing normal oxygen out of the air. We haven't given her any oxygen through tube.
The patient's
95.
dropping. Let's warm them up.
Okay. That is the temperature thing is consistent with shock. So yeah, we're gonna bump this up. Okay, I forgot how to use the thermostat there for a second. So we're gonna bring it up to 97. There's a saying in EMS where
approaching normal levels.
There's a saying in EMS, the patient's not comfortable unless you're uncomfortable. So we'll bring up the temperature in the back of the ambulance. Anyway, back to what I was saying. 94.8 is her temperature. Heart rate's going up quite a bit, but that's probably also consistent with the shock. She saying that it's a little warm now for her, so I keep hitting escape. So we're gonna bring that temperature down.
I'm running a fever.
Do you think you're running a fucking fever? Fuck me. Very diaphoretic, probably.
Heart rate approaching normal levels.
Probably from the temperature. I bumped it up pretty high. I keep hitting escape, I don't mean to. Lung sounds were clear, I believe. Let's get a glucometer on her. This is just a practice that I always do. I always get a blood sugar on a patient. 55, so that's a good reason to always get a blood sugar on a patient. You never know if you'll find something that needs to be addressed. So we are going to give her glucose. She does need it. We treat at 60. Normal ranges are between 70 and 100. Let's also get an IV established right now. That way I can give her medications. She's very diaphoretic. I don't know if that's something that was going on before I dicked with the thermostat or not. Get this IV established here. Perfect. And let's start addressing some of these wounds. So I'm going to put a burn dressing down here on this one.
Don't delay transport. Let's go.
That guy is annoying. I wish you could just turn off your partner's commentary. Because one of the biggest things is he's not going to do jack shit once I leave the back of this ambulance, and there's still stuff that needs to be done. Looks like a burn down here too, maybe a second degree, maybe a first degree burn. We're still going to dress it up. Perfect. Still don't like the fact that she's sweating a lot. And then on this other side, I think that's a normal wound. I'm gonna put a burn dressing on it. It could just be a normal wound, but with her having burns everywhere else, I'm just gonna treat it as a burn. That's the thing about this game, is it's kind of hard to tell what's what. She's gonna be a bit colder now that we've taken her clothes off. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put her on oxygen. With her having been exposed to some kind of burning agent, you're always kind of more aware of their airway because it can become compromised, swollen. You'll get that swelling, especially after a house fire. You'll get swelling here, which will compromise the airway and become a very major problem. So you always want to be cognizant of their airway. They could sound fine when you first meet them, and then go get very bad. Their condition can get very bad later. We're also going to give her, I think this game likes to give morphine for
surgery.
burns.
Just drive.
Oh my gosh, shut up. We're also going to give her morphine for the pain. I'm guessing she's going to be quite a lot of pain. This game says that we do that for burns. I've never given glucose intranasally like this before, but I guess the game, that's how you do it. Usually it's IV with something called dextrose or D10, and that's a solution. It's a sugar water solution. But we're going to, her blood sugar was 54. Let's check it one more time. I don't know if that constantly updates or not, but since we've given that, perfect. At 70, I like it. That's where I kind of want it. If it goes any lower, then we're going to definitely deal with it then. We're going to get her over to the hospital now. So, I am going to take her... I'm going to take her lights and sirens because of the burns. Like I said, this is one of those deals where condition can rapidly deteriorate over time in a very short amount of time.
Do something now.
Low temperature, this guy is useless. He can't figure out ever how to use a thermostat. Something so simple as turning it up, I have to tell him to do. That's why I wish he would shut up, because he is a useless person in the back of an ambulance. Anyway, thankfully we're right down the street from the hospital, so we're gonna get her there pretty quickly and drop her off. A lot of the times we won't even transport people lights and sirens, so that's why I mentioned it earlier that we would be. Because a lot of the time, people are stable enough that, as I ran a stop sign without lights and sirens. We're not going to do anything for that. Not right now, because we're already here. A lot of the time we don't go lights and sirens because they're in stable enough condition that it just doesn't make sense to put all of us at risk. But if somebody is actively dying, then we will take them lights and sirens because at that point it's going to kill you. So the risk outweighs, benefit outweighs the risk. So we will take you lights and sirens if you're dying. If you're not, then we're going to go nice and easy, quiet, no lights, no sirens, because then we can ensure that it's a lot safer than going lights and sirens. Okay, so
An accident was reported with one person involved.
some kind of accident, one person involved.
Transmitted to you as we speak. Over.
Someone called in, person trying to harm themselves. Okay, so not a vehicle accident. I gotcha. This is going to be that suicide attempt that we just unlocked. So with that, we're thinking, did they ingest something? Did they shoot themselves? We don't know. Another thing that would be big in this situation is, do we need a stage for the police department or not? Is it safe for medics to go in? We don't have weapons with us or any way to protect ourselves. So that's a huge thing. I'm going to turn off my lights and sirens. We don't need lights on. We're not on the roadway. Big pool of blood. Okay. I love how my hair does that. We're going to ask...
Right thigh.
Right thigh. Okay, I see major bleeding coming from the arm.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, I think I have to do a full assessment like this first. Which I can't see anything with those stats because she has clothes on. Distracting injury there on the right leg. Right thigh. Okay, now I think hopefully I can pull up this menu. Let's get a tourniquet on this arm. Because it looks like she's bleeding from that arm. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was the other arm. Shoot.
Need a new...
Need a new what?
Oh, I didn't take any meds.
Okay. This is such
I
a
have
dumb
a
question.
really
I
nasty
think that I
bruise.
have to ask all these questions, though, for it to count. Okay. So, we're going to get the cot. We're going to start transport pretty immediately. Obviously, I'm still going to do my full assessment, try to make sure that we get everything done. She's lost a lot of blood, so we need to figure that out, like, ASAP. I would still like to know how she harmed herself, but I think once we start doing assessments in the back of the truck, we'll probably be able to figure that out. Obviously, it was some kind of blunt force trauma, or penetrating trauma, sorry, because she was bleeding quite a bit. Okay, so now that we are in the ambulance, we're going to get a blood pressure cuff on her, and yep, there's bleeding coming from her abdomen. I want to pull socks on her. I would go with the other arm. The reason I mean, it's not going to matter in this game, but... Oh, you know what? I can't do that other arm because I have a tourniquet on it. Because I thought she was bleeding from that other arm. She's bleeding from right there, though. So, let me see if I can get a bandage on that, stop that bleeding. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see any open wounds on her abdomen here. Come on, come on, come on. So I'm not 100% sure where the hell this bleeding's coming from. But I need to do something to be able to stop it, because I can definitely see the
Blood pressure is getting too high.
Through. Blood pressure is getting too high. Okay. 100% on room air, 87 is a heart rate, 97.4, 136 over 91. Okay, let's get a IV going. Oh, there we go. There's the bleeding. Okay, let's get this done, and then I want to bandage that up, like yesterday. Hopefully I can get down by the wrist. No, you fucking chickle, I don't want to do that. Okay, so both of her wrists. So we figured out where the bleeding came from. I thought it was from her abdomen. It looks like that. This bleeding should be somewhat controlled because we had that tourniquet, but I guess it didn't really count. I don't know. I just work here, man. I don't know. I would really like for the game to allow me to do this other arm, but apparently we can't. Which is very frustrating. We're going to do saline solution, which this would actually be a bag. It wouldn't be just an injection. It would be a bag that was hanging from the top of the ambulance that would go straight into the IV catheter. Why can I not do this with this arm? Her blood pressure is very high, though. Okay. Let's see if I can find something that can bring her blood pressure down. So... that's going to be a negative. Let's see if a little bit of ketamine will bring it down. I don't think so. I'm not very well versed with how medications are. I'm just going off of what this game is telling me. Yeah. Listen to lung sounds. She's very wheezy. Okay. Let's get her in some oxygen. She's also coughing, obviously. It's a big thing. We might end up intubating her later, but for now, let's get that going. Of course, I can't put a tourniquet on right now, which is very silly. Okay. We are going to transport her. We're not going to spend any more time on this scene. We're going to go lights and sirens to the hospital. Again, this is another one of those, she's probably going to die if we don't get there quick. So we are going to go lights and sirens. Alright, so as we get close to the hospital, obviously, like I've said in the past, we'd be giving a radio report to tell the hospital, hey, we've got a 32-year-old female coming in with cuts on her wrists and some breathing difficulties. These are her vitals. Oh, I've just about missed the ambulance entrance. Right now, my partner would be completely crushed up against the front of this ambulance box. Sorry about that hard stop, buddy. Anyway, we'd be telling the hospital, this is what we got, prepare for this, so on and so forth. And then when we were in the hospital, we'd tell them, hey, again, this is what's going on. Still saying that I gave a wrongful intervention. It was probably the ketamine, to be honest with you. I was trying to lower her blood pressure. I thought that would maybe work, but it did not. That's okay. And just like that, we're ready for the next call. Just like real life, you go from one emergency to the next, and you have to be ready to just pick up and move on to the next one. We'd probably have to restock, so all of our supplies.
This is dispatch to ambulance 152. Priority response needed. Over.
During a utility accident, so we have an accident at some kind of utility site. Way down here.
Accident in the vicinity.
Okay.
Some sort of
we're gonna head on over that way.
A small construction site.
Another blast, so I'm guessing it's probably gonna be pretty close to that same run that we had at the start of the video. Everybody needs to get the hell out of the way. Just split the middle here. Perfect. Okay. That hair glitch is so funny. I'm gonna grab the stretcher. I should have grabbed the stretcher the last time, but it is what it is. It's the ambulance was right there. But okay, so this is still an active hazard. So usually we'd have the fire department here, or we'd call the electric company and say, hey, looks like the writing on that says BPS. We'd say to our dispatcher, hey, call BPS, tell them that we need them out here immediately. We have an active hazard.
Got pain.
They come and shut down everything. Can you tell me what happened?
There was a sudden blast, and I felt intense heat. I tried to cover my face, but my
arms got the worst of it. Okay.
Got the worst of it.
Suffer from any current major medical conditions? Do you take any medications?
Painkillers a few days ago for a headache.
Okay.
Nothing else. I'm starting to feel better.
A lot of the time we are trying to comfort our patients. I'll say, hey, good news is, we're ahead of the ball. We're here. We're going to help you.
It feels incredibly warm.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not great, but we are in a position where we can start fixing this, and we got your back. Just trying to encourage the patient because you don't want them scared and freaking out. That doesn't help anybody, including the patient. Both legs are going to have those burns again. I'd like to see the undersides of her arms, but we'll do that in the ambulance. Let's get her up on the stretcher and get her loaded into the ambulance. Alright, let's get on in here. Let's start getting some vitals here. I want a blood pressure. With women, it's very important to ask them if you can take a blood pressure on a specific arm. And nursing home patients are actually also, or like hospice patients, people that are chronically ill. It's also very important to ask them what arm you can take a blood pressure on. So with the chronically ill patients, sometimes they have what's called a port or a fistula, which means that the hospital has put something right about here, usually, or even in the upper arm, that they can just access to quickly give a medication. And if you put a blood pressure cuff on that, that could explode that device and really cause problems for the patient. So, and then with females, if they've had a mastectomy or there's something else, but I can't quite remember what it is. But they will be told, hey, you cannot use the arm that is on the same side of your body for blood pressure. I don't know 100%. I can't remember why that is. But that is a very important question to ask. Can I use your left arm in this example for a blood pressure? The reason I put the pulse ox on the other finger is because when the blood pressure cuff is inflated, it will cut off circulation and it will give me a false reading on the pulse oximeter. So it's better to put it on the opposite hand. Usually I put it on the left hand because there's a I believe it's an artery that runs through your ring finger. That's why we put a wedding ring on our left ring finger, because it is a artery that goes to the heart. And your other one doesn't have that. So you'll get a very good reading if you put it on that left ring finger. Very accurate reading. 98.4 is the temperature. Heart rate of 90, 100% on room air, 108 over 72. That blood pressure is probably going to be a problem here in a bit. I can only imagine. Oops. Well, doesn't need to be 97 degrees in here. I can bump that down just a little bit. We're going to put a burn dressing on this leg. Looks like a first-degree burn. Ooh, we are going to bring the temperature back up, because she is now saying that it is cold in here. Like I said, when you take people's clothes off, and then also when they've had trauma like this, especially burns, then temperature is going to become a real problem, and you need it to be very, very warm. Usually the medic in the back is going to be sweating because of how warm it is, but the patient will feel very comfortable, and they'll thank you for that. And it's hypothermia is a huge leading cause of death in trauma patients. So you have to really watch their temperature, bring up their temperature, usually using the thermostat.
Going back up to normal levels.
Using the thermostat, using warm blankets. We carry
transport.
warm blankets in the ambulance. And then also with that saline, you know, I said that it's a bag that usually hangs from the ambulance. That saline can also be put into a warmer, and because it's very cold actually when it goes into your arm, which will cool you down, if we put it in a warmer and then put it into your body, that also helps with actively warming the patient. I'm almost done with my assessment here. I want to get lung sounds. Like I said, we are going to put that non-rebreather on her for oxygen, just because she does have those burns.
Start spinning.
But her oxygen saturation is... I'm sorry, her lung sounds were clear. I'm just paying attention to her blood pressure. Her blood pressure just came down a bit. So we are going to go over to this right arm and get ready for a IV. Perfect. I've not been hitting those perfect this entire time, so that I'm glad that one was perfect. What else did I want to do? I wanted to get a blood glucose. That's what it was. Now, since I've just given her an IV, usually we can take it from that needle stick, so we don't have to poke their finger, because it's more comfortable for the patient, and this will have given me a blood sample. I want to try, let me see, what do I have to raise blood pressures? Well, dumb question, normal saline. Saline will give that volume that I need. Normal saline is just salt water. Like I said, it would normally be given by a drip, but this game is...
Are you preparing surgery? Just drive.
I want to punch that guy in the face every time he talks. I just want to reach over and punch him right in the face. We do not talk to that like that in the ambulance unless, for whatever reason, your partner is tunnel vision and you've been sitting on the scene for a very long time. That I would say something, but I would never be like, "Are you preparing for surgery?"
I have to do something now.
Especially if I'm going to ask for the millionth time how to
I'll handle it.
fix the patient's coldness. That's Very frustrating. And it's 99.9. She's not cold. If anything, we're overheating her. Oops, I just about turned the wrong way. That's what I get for talking crap about that dude. Not paying attention. Anyway, we are going to go lights and sirens with her. And we'll see you over at the hospital. Okay, so the patient's temperature is dropping. I think the thermostat is the highest that it can be. I wish that we had a warming blanket in this game, but yeah, she's starting to become very hypothermic.
Patient's running out of time.
So we are kind of against time right now. I know that I said that we'd meet back at the hospital, but I just wanted to add that she is in a very, very bad state right now. That blood pressure issue needs to be fixed as well. Which, again, if I had a saline drip, that would be actively fixing that. But another thing that we can do on a basic level is something called Trendelenburg. It's not taught very much anymore because people say it doesn't work. I've actually personally seen it work. So, yeah, the people that say that it doesn't work, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. It's not something that's going to hurt the patient. Basically, you can take their legs and elevate it. So the cot has a function that takes their legs and lifts them, and you're just moving that blood from the legs to the areas that it needs to go. Now, it doesn't last for very long. Usually, I would do it more towards a time that it's like, okay, I can't wait anymore. I'll put them in Trendelenburg because it is a very effective thing, but it doesn't last very long. Okay, so we have a drug overdose that's come in. Let's see where it's at. Over here in the downtown area. Usually if an ambulance is going from one major area to another, it's because we don't have enough ambulances in that other area. So like in this case, the reason why we'd be going from this island, I guess, to the downtown area would be in a real-life application because they didn't have enough ambulances in that downtown area. We're at a very, very high shortage for people in EMS right now, and it's becoming a huge problem across the country. So sometimes when people call 911, it's going to take a little bit longer for an ambulance to get to you because we don't have the staffing that we need. But we're going to try to get over there in a timely manner. We talked about it in the last episode, but with drug overdoses, we're going to wonder what they took. Is it an opiate, which we can reverse with Narcan? And we'll have to breathe for them. They'll have an oxygen problem, so we'll have to put some kind of either a vent in them, intubate them, and put a vent on them, or with that, we call it a BVM, a bag valve mask. With that bag valve mask, we can then breathe for them by squeezing the oxygen into their lungs through that tube when we intubate. Oh shit, I shouldn't have gone right, I should have gone left, that's okay. But anyway, if it's not opiate, then what did they take? How can we reverse that? Usually places will carry what's called activated charcoal. You give it to them and they immediately throw up once they've adjusted it, and that helps get rid of that contents of whatever drug they took, if it was taken orally. We could also be walking into a cardiac arrest at this point, where we'd have to start CPR and giving other medications to try to restart the heart, potentially shocking them. There's only two rhythms that we can shock, which is VFib and VTAC. The flat line that you see, it's funny in medical shows, you'll see them shock somebody that's flatlined, and that's not realistic. That's not a shockable rhythm. You have to have some kind of activity, electrical activity in the heart, to have an effective shock. I'll tell you what, though, a really good show to watch that's very realistic is The Pit on HBO. They do a very, very good job at doing some realistic stuff on that show. And if you ever want to see somebody that breaks what they're doing down very well, go, I think his name is Dr. Mike on YouTube. He's the beep guy, if you've ever seen that. He breaks it down very well, that show specifically. So I'm guessing our our overdose patient is this lady on the right, which the lady on the left is also bleeding. Oh shit, I didn't mean to ask him to move. Can you tell me what happened?
I have no idea, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, you're useless. Jane Doe, she looks unconscious. And I don't know if this lady's even, I can't even assess her.
They probably have taken too much of the drug.
I wonder what drug it is. That lady's probably deceased, that's why we can't deal with her. This lady is in very bad shape. She's got bruises on her legs. Elderly female. Either that or she's just done this drug so long that it's made her look elderly. Alright, let's get her onto the cot. Get her into the ambulance and start doing some assessments, interventions. I'm feeling this is gonna be interesting. I bet her vitals are gonna be very, very interesting. Let's get it back here. Start to stabilize her. So, first thing I want to do, I want to get that blood pressure. We're going to do it on the right arm. She has a hematoma somewhere, which I did not see. Maybe it's, I wonder if they're talking about that under her bra line there. Let's go and get some oxygen on her. I don't know what her respiratory rate is right now, but I'm just going to assume that it is not good. Oxygen saturation real quick. 100% with that oxygen. 86 is her heart rate, and 89.9 is the temperature. 90, it's going up. Let's get an IV established here. Honestly, there's probably not going to be much intervention that I do. Just because it's going to be, we're going to probably do this and then start transporting. I am going to get her Narcan, naloxone. I don't know what that just said, but it looked like it said that the effect was canceled. We're going to do it one more time and see if it gives us that again. Opiate effect canceled. Perfect. Oh, there she is. Now she's awake. Perfect. Yeah, she's definitely got some kind of chest injury here. I'm almost wondering if she fell and hit something. I'm not too worried about bandaging it up, though. We're also going to check her blood glucose. Since she was unconscious, this is a standard practice when somebody's unconscious to also check their blood glucose. Again, I check it every time because that's something that you can easily miss and that could really affect the patient. 89, it's not terrible. So, I'm going to leave it to my partner now. We're going to take her over to the hospital. We're actually... I'm going to take it quietly. Just because she's in a better condition than when we found her. Her blood pressure is a little bit low. Panic attack. I think it's lorazepam. That just raised her heart rate. That was not what I should have done. Okay, well, since I gave him the wrong medication, now we are going to go lights and sirens, because her heart rate just jumped up. this is, that would be tachycardia. We'd be giving a different kind of medication now to try to cardiovert her. Man, I screwed that one up. That's my fault. Oops. Our blood pressure at least came up. That's good. Now our heart rate's really high, so we'd also be putting defib pads on her to get ready to shock her because her heart rate is in a very not so good rhythm. Yeah, that's my fault. Oops. Oh well. If I had a competent patient or a partner, it'd be too
Tell me
bad.
what to do.
God.
Alright, I'm on it.
I want him to give her... I don't know if he's going to intubate her, but that's what I want him to do, is intubate the patient. We've treated 93% on, for the oxygen saturation. That's where we start to try to get their oxygen level up. And I've already got that non-rebreather on her, so... and she's tanking pretty quick. Move, 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 move. Perfect. Alright. I think I screwed that one up pretty bad. Oh, never mind. That was the right intervention, apparently. It just did not go very well. Okay. Well, anyway, if you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'll try to do more of these videos. The last time I just didn't think anybody would really care about it. But I'm glad that you guys do like it. Again, if you like what you see, hit the like button, the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. See you later.